Hi, welcome to the newest episode of Sports Talk Central. I'm your host, Deep Mahmood, with my normal co-host Hunter, and today we're going to do a special NFL Draft special episode, themed episode, considering that the draft is coming up in in a week, within a week or so. So we're going to do three parts here. We're going to do each of us are going to do a separate mock draft, and then what we're going to do is talk about any potential players that could be moved during the draft, and then we'll finish up with what we hope, what we want the Ravens to do, like from a what we want the Ravens and Steelers to do from our vantage points. So let me share my screen.
Pull up that Pro Football Network or wherever you get it from.
I'm doing Pro Football Focus still, some, but yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do yours first. So let's do, and also the way we're going to do this is let me see, 17. So we're gonna do a rating of 3 points for each pick. So if either of us get the right pick, we will get 3 points. If it's the right position but not the right player, then it will be 1 point. And if it's a right conference, then it's 2 points. So it's not just trying to so even if we don't predict the right player, if we still get close to it, let's and we'll get credit for it. And then we're not going to do let's not do trades. Like let's not make it weird. And
All right. I think this yours might trade up, but let's just do this.
yeah, I think the Ravens will trade down for sure, but start trade. Okay. All right. Who do you think Steelers will take? You got Paris Johnson, Deontay Banks,
So
quarter.
this is number 17, right?
Yep.
Wow. Is Paris Johnson's available?
Yeah.
I think if he's available, I think he's the best player. I think he's the pick. If you can,
Oh, yeah.
if Paris Johnson gets, you can get the left side of your line really well done. Get more protection for Pickett. He's a long-term answer for your left tackle. Dan Moore is
Oh,
fine, but
hold on, I forgot. I was doing this wrong. And let me restart. I think we had to do a whole mock draft. Sorry.
oh, he's terrible today.
Yeah.
You're,
Sorry.
you're killing me. I thought, man, Paris Johnson and Joey Porter Jr. were available. I don't think there's any way in hell that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah.
One or the other. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so used to like doing it by myself. That's the thing. So
He's terrible, guys.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm so used to doing it. I'm so used to doing it all by myself. But yeah, that's basically yeah. So that yeah, it would be weird if Paris Johnson was
He's not sliding to 17. They're gonna have to trade up to get him.
yeah, and then we're gonna and, and then we're gonna do let's do one round and enter. All right, where do you think the Panthers will go?
Panthers, I'm
Yeah.
going Bryce Young.
Where do you think the Texans? Because the Texans could go defense, but apparently
I'm
there's
going CJ Stroud.
yeah.
He's the
You think
pick.
yeah? I've seen people use Will Levis, but I don't. That might be too much of a.
Arizona, if they don't trade, I'm gonna go Will Anderson.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Fourth, Indianapolis, I'm gonna go Anthony Richardson. I
Yeah.
think he's the pick there. Lions, what do you think? Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter's interesting. Ooh. I think Jalen. I think for you. I think maybe. I mean, but what do you think? I think they go defense with all the quarterbacks out. But yeah.
Yeah, I would probably assume that as well.
Okay.
That's Seattle that had the pick. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Seattle could go Jalen Carter though.
Yeah. Yeah. Where do you think the Lions?
I think they go defense as well.
You think what position? Yeah,
I don't know if
there's
it's Witherspoon though. Um, Gonzalez is really good, but he might slide a little bit.
you think Gonzalez?
Hmm. Who do you think?
I was going to say Witherspoon. I think Witherspoon fits well with Dan Campbell. I think he kind of fits, but it's up. This is your mock draft, not mine, so it's up to you.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. I guess I'll go Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Raiders, I think, go offense here.
Right.
Actually, no, I think they could go tackle.
You think Skoronski?
Yeah.
Dang, you
I'm
have
going to say the
Levis.
Falcons go Will Levis. I don't think they are believers in Desmond Ridder.
Yep, that makes sense. Now, yeah, the Bears are interesting. This is
Bears could get a Jackson Smith and Jibba if he's healthy and ready to go. Dalton Kincaid also makes some sense. Any of those guys, really. But they also could go Paris Johnson.
right. That
Actually,
makes sense.
I think Paris Johnson's going to go there. Eagles, no, I'm not going to have them go Robinson.
I think Nolan Smith could be interesting.
Yeah, I can see them adding to their defense. Yeah, I'd probably go Smith there.
For some reason, I don't know why PFF.
Could the Titans maybe go after Robinson if they trade Derrick Henry?
Maybe.
Nah, I don't.
I don't see them going.
Jigba makes sense for them.
Which one?
JSN makes sense for them because they don't really have a lot of wide receivers.
But yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
but I don't know. They're a weird team.
I mean, you got Christian Gonzalez. They could. I mean, Kalijah Kancey. They already paid their they already paid a defensive lineman though. I mean, do they have a track record getting guys from Alabama? Because Brian Branch could be interesting for them.
I don't think they do, but I think he could be intriguing for them.
Michael Mayer. I mean, if you're gonna stick with Derrick Henry, then having another tight end there could.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Get another weapon for. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Actually, I might go scroll up. Actually, I think I might go wide receiver for that. I actually might go JSN.
See, okay, that's actually pretty smart because the Texans are up, and then they could have gone with.
They could go, they could go a lot of different areas here. I wouldn't be surprised if that guy from Pitt. I would pick him honestly. He's really good. Clancy.
Yeah. I feel like he's gonna get overhyped because
the Jets are gonna want that other tackle outside of Paris Johnson. Who's he? What's his name again? He's scroll down. Yeah, Jones, him, Darnell Wright. Well, either one, they're gonna take one of those guys.
Yeah, no, I think with the note on Kancey, I know people kind of think undersized interior line Pitt. Who does that remind you of? I feel like he's gonna get hurt by that though. I mean, I feel like poor him. Like people are gonna think Aaron Donald with him. The Patriots are super weird.
I don't know what the heck they want, to be honest.
Like I could just literally do like this.
I know. They're that's gonna be a weird team. Miles Murphy makes sense for them.
True. Okay.
The Packers could use a wide receiver. I don't think they need Bijan Robinson. Tight. Actually, scroll up. I can see them taking Michael Mayer. He's the full package. He'll catch anything you throw to him. He makes a perfect security blanket for Jordan Love. I think he's the pick there.
Also, with the fact that they don't have a ton of receivers, you got to think about the fact that that how are they going to run the ball more, and then from the run you get to the pass. So I think the gateway from running back to receiver is a pass catching tight end, and Michael Mayer is one of the better options. Commanders are interesting.
Yeah, they can do. I wouldn't be surprised if they go corner. Honestly,
you think Gonzalez? You think?
Yeah,
Gonzalez?
I think they may try to go take one ahead of the Steelers. Out to him, and then for the Steelers, scroll down. No, scroll down a little bit. Bijan Robinson, Brian Branch, Banks is available. Yeah, if it's between Banks and Porter, I would go Joey Porter. I think they'll take him if he's available.
You think Porter?
Yeah.
So remember, they got thing. Okay, so the Lions got Witherspoon.
Wouldn't be surprised if they go for Bijan here. I don't know, but is Bijan going to go in the first round? That's my big question.
He may, like, because you got. I mean, Buffalo already got Damian Harris, so it's not like they need a running back. Eagles.
I don't know if the Lions need one though.
No, like they got Swift. They still got DeAndre Swift on that team.
Yeah,
So. I mean, Dalton Kincaid. I mean, Kincaid would be interesting considering that they traded away Hawkinson. They traded away.
Yeah, they could get him an extra target for Jared Goff. That makes sense.
And also for next few years, if this is Jared Goff's final year.
I got a bold one here.
Which one?
Bucks, Hendon Hooker.
You think? Yep. Okay.
I think the Bucks make sense for him. Seattle, you can go get a lineman.
Darnell White, Anton Harrison.
Yeah.
You think Wright?
Yeah. Dolphins, they could do a whole number of things, to be honest. I think they can get their linemen too.
Yeah. We're talking Chargers. Dolphins, remember the whole.
Oh yeah. Oops. Chargers. Yeah, I would honestly, if ever then I would draft Addison. You know, you need other, you know.
Yep. You have no idea how much longer Keenan Allen will be there.
He's always hurt.
Yep.
You need more targets for Justin Herbert. Okay, Ravens.
I'm leaving this up to you. So
okay. Let's see. Deontay Banks. That's a total Ravens pick. Ravens pick.
Yep. I would really like him.
Vikings.
Vikings. Where the Vikings will go.
Quentin Johnson.
That makes sense.
For Justin Jefferson for sure.
Yeah, because here's why I think Quentin Johnson works for the Vikings as well. Because when you think about it, they got to pay Justin Jefferson at some point soon. So, and they already traded away Adam Thielen. They cut Adam Thielen. And no offense, who's their third target after those two?
I don't think anyone really.
Osborne, something Osborne, something. But yeah, I think Quentin Johnson on the other side of Justin Jefferson with Hawkinson, that's a pretty good for Kirk Cousins and whoever comes up after him. So Jaguars.
They could do a whole number of things as well, to be honest, you know. Wouldn't be surprised that guy from Florida, you know, they could get some more protection for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Giants, yeah. I don't think they'll get Robinson because they want Barkley there.
Brian Branch could be interesting, but isn't that too much of a redundancy from McKinney?
Yeah, it is. This is tough. I don't really know what they need.
I mean, Tyree Wilson's been a guy that's been mocked like earlier, but for some reason PFF has him like ranked really low. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, I guess he makes sense for them. I know who I'm taking for the Cowboys.
Who?
Bijan, because he can be like he can help out Tony Pollard.
And then also you take him away potentially from the Eagles if they don't get.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Bills could. They paid Jordan Poyer already, so it's not like your safety. They did lose Tremaine Edmonds. I can't remember who else.
Yeah, scroll down. Yeah. Yeah, they're in like a weird spot. I don't know who I would take for them, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I think this is kind of talking about another topic we might be we're gonna be after I do my mock draft. But for me, I think that they could be in the market for a receiver. I think they could be because
Zay Flowers would make some sense.
Also, like, here's the thing. Remember, they have to bring back what's the guy's name? Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
They got to bring back Cole Beasley. I think with Zay Flowers, they could go ahead and just say, we don't need to go down that well one more time. But that would be scary. That would be a scary offense.
Bengals branch because they lost both of their safeties.
That makes sense.
The Saints need a whole bunch of crap. They could get an edge rusher.
Gibbs is interesting because how much longer is Kamara going to be effective?
Yeah, that would make some sense.
All right, here we go.
Do that, I guess.
Eagles. They went out and got. Let me see who you had them taking. For Nolan Smith.
Okay.
So they already have edge. Forbes, I could see them doing Forbes personally, but
yeah,
that's up to you. But yeah,
I guess we'll do that one, then we'll finish this off.
Do you think that the fact that Forbes is like 166, do you think that would be too that's gonna hurt? That's gonna impact him too much?
I don't think so. Chiefs, let's see, scroll down. The Chiefs could do a whole number of things.
Oh, that's scary. Darnell will be terrifying.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Darnell Washington just for shits and giggles.
Oh my god, that would be terrifying. Go. Yeah, so we're going to see. We're going to deal with that one later. Let me just
I think it's your turn now.
Yeah, we're gonna switch it off to my turn. But I mean, Darnell Washington on the Chiefs would be scary. Like him, Noah Gray, and Kelsey. That would be scary. I think they would go. By the way, why? What do you think they had Zay Flowers in for a visit with Mahomes? Do you think that was them having legitimate interest in him, or do you think that one had more to do with the Chargers could use him, the Bills could use him, other teams could use him?
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't be surprised if he does go up a lot higher. This draft, I think, is going to be really unpredictable.
Yeah, trust me. I have my mock draft. Like
my mock is going to look terrible after next Thursday. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I have my stop sharing. I'm going to share present the screen here. But I'm going wait until you see who I have for let's see, this one, not this. Okay, who I have the Chiefs taking. It's someone that it's been getting a lot of buzz recently, but we don't know. Okay, so we're not where. All right, draft. All right, so I'm going to just move. All right, here we go. So for the Panthers, I have taking Bryce Young. I think that that's pretty much settled. Now I'm going to do a surprise here. These are the Texans, and
oh god, what are you going to do?
I'm going Levis. I just have.
You're a sick man.
I just have this because here's the thing. Here's why I think I'm going to go with Levis, because the Texans had not just because the betting favorites, but the Colts apparently like Levis. The Texans are division rivals, but also where did DeMeco Ryans come from?
That's true.
He came from the 49ers. Where did the offensive coordinator come from for the new one for the Texans? The 49ers. So they are not they come from the Kyle Shanahan tree, and the Kyle Shanahan tree is one of these trees where Kyle Shanahan is one of these guys. If you think about it, has Kyle Shanahan really had a superstar quarterback in San Francisco?
No.
But if you think about they would be willing to be fine with a guy who can get the job done. And I think Will Levis would be a guy they think they can get the job done, and then you build around Levis through the defense. That's why I kind of think Levis. I understand why people say Stroud, but I think that's the first weird pick I have. Cardinals, I have Will Anderson, which makes sense. You need a replacement for J.J. Watt. And also, Gannon's the new head coach. He's a defensive-minded guy.
So the Colts get C.J. Stroud then, right?
Yeah, I have the Colts taking Stroud.
Okay.
Now, the Seahawks, who was the guy? Okay. The Seahawks, I haven't taken Tyree Wilson. I think that for some reason PFF has him a lot lower, but I could see the Seahawks going with someone like him. Lions, I have taking Witherspoon. I think, like I said, I think the he would fit really well with Dan Campbell. The Raiders, I have them going with Christian Gonzalez. The Falcons, I have them going Jalen Carter. He sticks around in Georgia. And honestly, I think that do you think Jalen Carter will get out of the top 10, or do you think
No, I'd be stunned.
Yep. I got the Bears going with Skoronski. I think that they got the weapons for options for Justin Fields. Now you need protection. And I don't know how they feel about the kid from Oklahoma State they got a couple years ago, but I like Skoronski for them. Eagles, I have them taking Nolan Smith.
Okay.
Titans. So Titans is they could be in the market for a new quarterback. They are a run-first team, and I think Anthony Richardson finally gets off the board.
Okay.
With the Titans, do you think Richardson, like, if
he makes sense there if they want to move on from Tannehill after this year?
Yeah, so I think so like I said, they want to build around their Texans want to build around their quarterback. They don't really have a receiver. I have JSN going to the Texans. The Jets, I have taking Paris Johnson Jr. I'm guessing that we're all predicting that the Rodgers deal will get done. He needs protection, so go there. Patriots like to go shop at University of Alabama. So let's go there. Packers, I think I'm with you. I think Packers go with Michael Mayer. I do not think they hate Aaron Rodgers that much to go from one offensive player in the first round in one out of the last 10 years, and that being his replacement. And then the year that they do trade Aaron Rodgers, or the first year he's out, they draft a receiver. I don't think they hate him that much. So for the Commanders, I am going Joey Porter Jr. They need another corner.
You are sick. Who do you have for the Steelers?
Deontay Banks.
Okay, that's fine. He's pretty good too.
Yeah. So the Lions, I have them going interior D line with Kancey.
Okay.
Buccaneers, I have them going Dalton Kincaid.
Okay.
Because obviously whether it's Kyle Trask or someone else, tight ends are a quarterback's best friend. Where we at next? The Seahawks, I have taking Myles Murphy. Chargers, I have them taking Zay Flowers. If I can find.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that Chargers just make too much sense to get a receiver. All right, so Ravens. All right, so I'll explain why I think this guy, because it just goes into our next section about guys who could get traded and the implications of it. I am taking Emmanuel Forbes. I think that they're not going to bring back Marcus Peters. I think this guy brings the Marcus Peters like playmaking quality, but he also has Hollywood Brown type speed. So I think that's kind of how I look at Emmanuel Forbes. I think have him pack on a few like 15-ish pounds and he should be good to go. But I think that Mike Macdonald would have a field day with him. the Vikings, same pick as you. I have them taking Quentin Johnson. The Jaguars, the Jaguars are a team that they don't really need. They can go experiment. Lucas Van Ness. The Giants, I have them taking Jordan Addison. I think that you paid Daniel Jones all that money, like you said. You think about them wanting, what's his name, from the what's his Barkley. So you're gonna go with that. So I think Addison will be another piece there. So Cowboys, I have them taking Darnell Washington.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I think that they are going to want to run the ball. You got Pollard. You got. I think that I think you can go with him. Now the Bills. I'm going to go with a little shocker here. So
Okay.
the thing about the Bills is they could use a receiver, and I got them going Josh Downs.
Wow. Okay.
Because if you think about Josh, because like I said, I think the Bills could use a slot monster, and Josh Downs has the speed. He's got the production, and imagine imagine how would you feel about a Bills offense with Gabe Davis on the outside and Stephon Diggs on the outside and Josh Downs on the inside with
That
Dawson.
would be kind of nutty, I can't lie.
So I'm going there. Bengals. Let's see. Let's see. Bengals. Let's see who I think they go beef up that O line even more. I know they got Orlando Brown, but they could always beef up that line. Saints, I am going with Brian Brisset.
Okay.
The D line from Clemson.
Is this where
Eagles.
Bijan goes off the board?
Yeah, I'm taking I think Bijan because I
Okay.
keep going back to how Bijan was visited only 2 places. Now this is the pick I was hyping up. This is the guy that was not a lot of people are bringing his name up in the first round, but Kansas City has utilized this type of receiver before, and they traded away this type of receiver with Tyreek Hill. Not saying this guy would be Tyreek Hill, but this is a guy that could come into Kansas City and they would know what to do with him. I got him taking Tank Dell.
Wow. Okay.
Because I keep hearing a lot about I keep hearing a lot about how this guy is like a really good route runner. Like his footwork's really good. I keep thinking, okay, well they had Tyreek Hill. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe this guy isn't Tyreek Hill, like when it comes to speed, but he has the Tyreek Hill starter's kit. And I think if you're Andy Reid, that is something that is fun to use. That's like another fun toolbox. And when you think about it, Kadarius Toney you can't rely on because of injury. So having someone that can kind of serve as a Tony type player, like a gadget type player, is someone that Mahomes would like. And I think that what are your thoughts on Tank Dell as a prospect?
I mean, he would make sense in Andy Reid's offense. I think he can move him all over the field, do some of those short intermediate routes that Mahomes loves to throw to. And I think he could also be, Tyreek Hill was like that deep threat in Kansas City as well. He would burn anyone on those long range passes. So I wouldn't be surprised if they would use him in that capacity as well. I feel like he could just do it all for them.
And yeah, the rich get richer, and you get another up in there. Now, the other part of the NFL draft I want to talk about is guys who could get moved through trade. So the guys I can think of,
Derrick
Henry, Hopkins, and Aaron Rodgers. Those were the main ones. Do you think there's someone else that could get moved?
It's a good question. Because the AJ Brown trade no one saw coming last year. I don't think he was really in too many trade rumors. I don't think the Hollywood Brown stuff came out of nowhere. I feel like as well.
They were hiding that. They were trying to hide it as long as they can.
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
I mean, I could say Allen Robinson, but that trade was already.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, if you want a
Robinson?
fully Galaxy Brain scenario, Stephon Diggs, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's a Galaxy Brain thing, though. I don't think the Bills are doing that.
I think the Bills would rather get another receiver trio, but rather than trade.
I agree. Yeah, Rodgers, the other two you mentioned. I'll throw another wild card one out there. Mac Jones? Question mark?
Maybe. I mean, that could be interesting.
Maybe like some Galaxy Brain way the Patriots move on from him just because of all the rumors and stuff. I can't think of too many, to be honest. Do you have any others in mind?
No, not really. I mean, I think it just.
I think the Rodgers trade does get done this week, though. It sounds like they rekindle their talks. I think they want to get that done before Thursday's first round.
I think Hopkins more than likely will get moved into the now. We were talking about Hopkins to the Ravens last week. But we're talking about with how Darius Slay was saying something and Lombardi was saying something. Here's what I find really interesting, though. So Darius Slay was talking about how there's someone wanting to come play for Baltimore. People were assuming that was talking about potentially Hopkins. Then you have Michael Lombardi coming out and saying that Lamar wanted Hopkins and OBJ. And he also did say that the Ravens couldn't afford both. They went ahead and got OBJ. So that the implication to that was Hopkins was unaffordable. Well, did you see the tweet that Hopkins put out last week about how he wasn't really asking for a raise?
Yeah, I did.
Do you? I think that could also be to jumpstart his market. But do you also think that this could have been a response to that report?
It definitely could have been. I think he just wants. At the end of the day, he just wants to go to a winning situation. He spent his career with the Texans and the Cardinals.
Yeah,
it's time for him to experience some playoff football, whether that's in Baltimore if they can get in, or that's Buffalo, Kansas City. I still think I honestly think it's going to be one of Buffalo or Kansas City that gets him. I still won't be surprised if it's the Ravens. But I think right now, in terms of what makes more sense, I think it's going to be one of those former two teams.
Yeah, and I could see Buffalo. I could absolutely see it. It was like Todd Miller. But then here's where it gets interesting. So then on the Pat McAfee show on Monday, they were talking about Hopkins and then Bills and Chiefs, and then they had Pac-Man Jones on, and Pac-Man Jones, who's close to Hopkins, said the Ravens are a team and they have a possibility of getting him. But it's interesting, 24 hours later, they go back to Pac-Man Jones, and he said,
I don't believe a word that guy says.
I wouldn't, but this all information, I'll explain why this all information kind of connects, but he also said there's a strong possibility that he ends up in Baltimore. Now, how he got from possibility to strong possibility, I don't know. Right? Who knows? And people could say, well, maybe that's he's using the Ravens to try to get more money out of the Bills. I don't quite think that this is quite what it is, but to me,
sources he lied. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, that's also I also think the sources is Hopkins himself. Now, Josina Anderson Jen said it doesn't look like the Ravens are going after Hopkins. Now, what's really interesting here is we are a week away from the draft, and it depends. Like, if the Ravens were in on Hopkins, and if the Ravens were close to a deal and a trade in a deal, do you think they would want to announce it now? Do you think they would try to make it public or wait until the draft to announce it? Like, that's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I think they would wait till the draft to get more hype around it. Yeah.
So the reason why I say that is because if the Ravens were to go and make this, and one of the reasons why I had the Ravens take Forbes is because if the Ravens don't get Hopkins, and the corner they are going to still go corner in the draft, which is my belief. then I think Porter, Banks, Forbes are kind of in that same group, and I think Forbes is the most likely. If they do get Hopkins, it just tells me they're going to go corner, and even if teams try to trade up in front of them to try to go and get one of those corners between Banks and Porter Jr., I think they're less likely to go after Forbes, so Forbes is still a possibility there. Now, if they trade back from 22, then I think Forbes will be there. Kelee Ringo is my dark horse also for the Ravens. But it's like interesting. Like Forbes is in that place of he's ranked high enough to be a starter, but he's not ranked high enough where he's a trade up guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in that group. So I think that's gonna be interesting. But then also it's like the Ravens. My point is, I think the Ravens will like to keep this stuff secret before the draft, and I think that the fact that you have players close to Hopkins saying that the Ravens are a possibility, you have Mike Lombardi and Josina Anderson saying that it doesn't look like the money's going to work. To me, what it sounds like is it sounds like Hopkins is considering the Ravens. The Ravens like Hopkins, but they are trying to keep the thing secret. So they are trying to play it off. Yeah, they are trying to play it off as well. The money is an issue and everything else. It wouldn't shock me if the Raven. And then again, here's the other thing: if they trade Patrick Queen for multiple picks, and you are publicly saying we want Hopkins, the other teams are going to say, you're going to want multiple picks from us so you could trade for DeAndre Hopkins. So now we can out leverage you or something like that. So they probably want to keep this as close knit as possible. And their preferred scenario is let's go and get Patrick Queen out, get the savings and get multiple picks, and then use the fact we have 7 or 8 picks to go and get one of those for Hopkins, and then announce that we have Hopkins on draft day once that trade with Patrick Queen or Devin Duvernay was announced, so that no one can figure out that the Ravens are essentially outsmarting everyone else. So it's almost like a Game of Thrones like type of scheming. So it's like it is interesting. So it's gonna be interesting on this report. Now, Ravens could, if they do get a deal and contract done, that's the disclaimer. They could do it before, but to me, I think they would want to wait until the draft. And also, look, the Ravens, they have been. It's more high profile, but they've done what the Ravens want to do. This is what they've done in the past. So, going back to that point, let's talk about Ravens and Steelers. What do you want the Steelers to do, and what do you not want the Steelers to do?
I want them to take, the best player available when they get to 17, as if they stay there, whether that's a tackle, whether that's a cornerback. I think those are the two positions that they're very much looking at for that, especially after they drafted Allen Robinson. I think that takes them out of the Jordan Addison talk and any other receiver talk there. Now, I also could see them trading up. And who could that be for? Paris Johnson. I think he's the best tackle in this draft. I've heard from one of the Steelers writers who told me that, they're potentially eyeing up a trade for the number 9 pick if they can do that. They don't do it often, but with how aggressive the Steelers have been, I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't want them to fully reach for a pick. Remember how they reacted when William Jackson was selected by the Bengals and they took Artie Burns and that was just a disaster. I don't want them to do like that kind of pick there. I want them, most of their needs are already filled through the offseason. They still have some in the draft, but I want them to make sure that, they're nailing this. They've gone through all their evaluations and that, they have someone in mind no matter what, whether they trade up or they stay there. Banks, the kid from Maryland, Joey Porter Jr., Paris Johnson, Gonzalez from Oregon, a couple other tackles, Darnell Wright makes sense. I think I really do think and hope that they take one of those two positions at number 17. And then you can do whatever you want at 32. You have the first pick of the second round. They can use that to their advantage as well.
Yeah, I think for the Ravens, for me, is don't reach on a player. Like, I think that they have a good thing there. I mean, I don't think they need to go. They're not going to get a quarterback in first round, so I'm not worried about that part. But to me, the best case scenario is what I was just describing. Get the Hopkins deal done. Get a corner, preferably someone like Porter Jr., Banks, or Forbes, and then that way you have a very good cornerback too. And you get another receiver out there that you really like. I think that I think for the Ravens, don't over invest and try to trade up too much. Don't try to trade down too much as well. But I think it all depends on DeAndre and Lamar. If so, I think it really depends on those guys. So it's gonna be interesting. They're in a very precarious situation. They could this draft is gonna be pretty big in what they want to do for the next few years. I don't think they will go best BPA. I think it's receiver or corner. What I don't want them to do is go out and get like a Darnell Washington or Bijan Robinson, Bijan or an interior. I understand you might get good players, but I think you need more help in receiver or corner. I think that's what you need to do. If you do, then maybe one of the edges, like Lucas Van Ness or Will McDonald or a guy like Nolan Smith. But other than that, I mean, don't reach. And best case scenario is you hope that you get Hopkins and you get Lamar signed long term before. Even if you announce the Hopkins thing later on the draft, that's fine. And then what you don't want is don't reach, don't go after a tight end or a running back, even if they might be the best player available. I can like it eventually, but to me, it would depend on what's on the board. So next week we're going to go and recap what the Ravens and Steelers drafts were like, any surprises, and we're gonna and then see how accurate we were in predicting the draft.
Yeah, hopefully, I'll get the most points, and it should be a fun week with the draft. Hopefully, we'll get something unexpected to happen.
All right, see you.
All right. See you.